Well, hi again, everybody. Welcome to another episode of 100 Yards of Football. This is the 2026 NFL Draft Prospect Show, and today we're going to feature Ohio State cornerback Davison Igbinosun. Along with me is Vincent Turner and Joey Clinkscales. I wanted to say it correctly. I think I did, and when I said it, I'm not sure if I said it correctly. So David Igbinosun, I'm going to get it. I think I did. Thank you, Davison. He's 6'2", big guy, 190 pounds right around. So he's a little bit light for that. Runs a 4.45 40. Did pretty well in his testing at the combine. His height is off the charts. His speed is okay. His arm length is great. But gentlemen, there's some things about this young man that we will talk about in just a second. First of all, he's from Union High, New Jersey. At the high school there, he was a four-star prospect and ended up going to Ole Miss in 2022. Played for the Rebels in 10 games. He had 35 tackles, 5 pass breakups. He was a freshman All-American, and he decides to leave, and he spends his last 3 years at Ohio State, including a national championship in 2024. And he had 2 interceptions late in the year, this last year against Michigan, and also against Indiana in the Big Ten championship. 43 tackles, 22 pass breakups in his history there, which is up at among the top at Ohio State, which is saying something. 4 interceptions, 3 fumble recoveries. And Vincent, I'm going to begin with you. There are a lot of things that are impressive. Because of his size, I'm not going to call him Richard Sherman because Richard was a man kind of set apart and unique all to himself. But because he's one of the taller guys that are out there, ideal size, but a little bit light. What say you in terms of just first impressions about Davison?
Well, first of all, I'm very proud of you tonight, Harper, because I'm not going to even try to pronounce the gentleman's last name. You did an
You don't want to do
excellent job, my brother.
Igbinosun? Come
Oh,
on.
no.
You
I'm
gotta
going to call him Davison I. I'm going to leave it at
All
that.
right.
That's what we leave it up to the
All right,
experts
you're
to
gonna play
do
it
that.
safe. That's
The
okay.
guy who's the best at doing what he's doing, that's you, Mr. LeBel. But Mr. Davison, the Ohio State Buckeye, as we talked pre-show, in his junior year with a national championship season, he struggled a lot with penalties, a lot of holding penalties. What I came impressed with this year, he cleaned that up and played a little bit more clean football. When I think about him, he got excellent length. He's got what I say press man coverage. He likes to get his hands on you at the line of scrimmage. There's a lot of corners in this National Football League that's made a lot of money and got paid, like A.J. Terrell here locally with the Falcons, Martin Emerson over there with the Cleveland Browns, Nate Wiggins with the Baltimore Ravens, Nate Wiggins and A.J. Terrell from Westlake High School here in Atlanta. And most of all, the guy seems like he's got good ball awareness. But Mr. Clinkscales is going to probably explain a little more clearer than me. What I worry about is that the penalties that he had his junior year, but he cleaned them up his senior year. And now he's going to get into the National Football League. He's got excellent size, a 6'2", 195. But I think about him going against Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Jackson MB, who just got paid, the young man with the Rams, Puka, who you know I'm talking about, Roma Doozy. I want to know how he's going to really translate coming from college and going against that firepower every week. Let me throw C.D. Lamb and George Pickens in there also. To you, Mr. to you, Mr. LeBel.
Well, we'll go right to Joey. Joey, first and foremost, what impresses you most about Igbinosun?
Well, I think he's got prototypical size. He's got the size of corner that every team covets. They want the length. He's got long arms. They want someone who can has a chance to control the receiver at the line of scrimmage. Now, he's got to clean up his footwork because I don't think he's naturally a really quick-footed guy. Watching him play, I don't think he's very twitchy for a corner. So he's going to be a guy that either plays press coverage, which is one of the things I think he does best. Now, I do think he has some confidence issues because when you get a lot of holding penalties and you're there, then you're pressing a little bit. So I think that's a confidence issue and a trust issue. He doesn't trust his ability sometimes. So I think those are things that we say that he needs to clean up, but some guys never clean that up, because they I call it, they panic at the top of routes. When you panic at top of routes, then you reach, you hold, you do things like that. and you have a 5-yard buffer zone per se. Now that's become a lot more liberal here in the last couple of years, but there's a 5-yard buffer zone that after 5 yards you can't put your hands on guys. So those are the kind of things. Those are some of the things that concern me. Now, again, he ran a 4.45, which is good speed. He's a build-up speed guy. So guys that get around him initially, who are quicker and as fast, they're going to have an advantage. The things I like about him is I think he's really tough. I think he's physical. I think he's got good, not great hands. The Richard Sherman comparison you made earlier, some of that is true because I think this guy, and Richard was a really good player. I mean, Richard might end up being in the Hall of Fame, and no one would argue that because he was a really good football player. Richard was a former wide receiver coming out of Stanford. So this guy has Richard had really good hands. This guy's ball skills aren't quite as good as Richard. He had similar size. And Richard was a good tackler, not a great tackler, but Richard had a physical mentality to him that a lot of people really liked, and he played really well from that standpoint. So that was really good. And this guy's physical. He's not afraid of contact. He's not afraid to come up and run support. He does a lot of good things. And he gives you enough. He's a flash player. You know, you see him do this and you get excited about it, and then you see him do something else and you're not as excited. There are times on the goal line and press, he does a really good job. But other times he gets beat off the line, and he'll get beat. But he's got the length. That's where the length comes in. You know, he gives up with his feet sometimes, especially in the red zone. He makes up with his length. He can recover with his hands. I mean, he got an interception versus Penn State where he was clearly beat, but he had the length to stay with the guy, knock the ball up, grab it, and get 1 foot in before he goes out of bounds. That's in the end zone. So, again, that's the thing you can't teach. You can't teach the size, and he's in the length, and he has that. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes. You know, I tried to get this out earlier. He's either going to be a press corner or he's going to be a zone corner, because in man-to-man, if he's got a heavy dose of man-to-man that he has to play and run with receiver all over the field, he does have restrictive hips. We've talked about that. You've heard me say that before because of the a little bit of tightness that he's going to have trouble with that. So he's either a zone player or a press player.
Joey, before we move forward, both of you had said that there were some issues with the penalties. I'm going to take his side and say, listen, I know where a guy's going to make a break, and I am going to beat him to it. And in some cases, I think the ball's going to be in the air, and I'm going to reach out, and I'm going to put my hand in the way before he gets a chance to do that. The way that the National Football League is right now, as long as the guy isn't bleeding, you can have your hands all over him if the ball's in the air and it's on your way. Is this going to be an issue? Vincent said he cleaned it up, but my question to you is, did he clean it up enough to where it's not going to be a problem where you go, you know what, I'd rather not take him in the second round. If he's available in the fourth or fifth, I'll do that then. I'll steal him if I can do that. Is there any plausibility in what I'm saying to where you understand it? Go ahead.
I hear what you're saying. There's no chance he's going to make it in the fourth or fifth round. I mean, he third round is his floor. Okay. He'll probably go in the second round, I would guess. Third round is probably his floor. If he's past that, then he probably robbed the bank the night before the draft or something like that. There's something that happened because you can't teach the size, the length, the speed that this guy has. Is he restrictive? Yes. Is there things that need to clean up? Yes. Is he tough? Yes. I mean, so does he have good hands? Yes, he's got pretty good hands. But again, he's one of those guys that you have to know he doesn't fit every system. And I keep telling you, system matters. Coaching matters, especially, Seattle does a great job of getting guys in their system that fits the way they want to play football. They've done as good a job as anybody lately. The Niners do the same thing. They're getting the right guys for their system. So, this guy needs to, if he goes into the right system, he'll be a productive player. But what they won't ask him to do is play a heavy dose of man-to-man.
Makes sense. I'm with you. All right, Vincent, back to you, at least for a second question. And that kind of, as you mentioned, he cleaned up a lot of things after winning a national championship at Ohio State, going in for a senior year. There's certain expectations that you have. What do you think that he's done in your mind's eye that got him ready for where he is right now, getting ready for the NFL draft, and to show from his playoff appearances, his big games, Big Ten championship bowl games, and then just the game against Ball State or Western Kentucky, or early on when Ohio State plays. There are certain expectations that you have at the Ohio State University. What do you think he's done to mature to the level to where you feel very comfortable drafting him where you do?
Well, I'm looking at it like this, gentlemen. Last year, he had a lot of holding penalties. Then he comes back this year. But I'm looking at it like this. He probably got better because of who he was practicing against. Cornell Tate, first round pick in this year's draft. And a lot of people who's saying the monster out of Miami, probably the best player out of Miami ever, Jeremiah. What's the kid's name? Help me out, gentlemen. Jeremiah Smith. Okay. Think about it. He's practicing against them day in and day out. How you not going to get better doing that? How you not going to develop Mike Haynes type skills or Lester Hayes type skills? Think about you trying to get your hand on them two studs who are going to be first round draft picks. That's why I think he improved a lot. Competition is a very, very serious thing, man. All you got to do is ask a young man, I savant Joey Clinkscales, and ask him about going up against Terry McDaniel, Andre Kramer. Hello. Back to you, Harper.
All right. Well, Joey, we'll talk about that in a second. But
Hello.
If you don't mind, Davison's maturity level, playing in big games. I know we've talked about that with other players. Those are they're important, but they're not real keys, if you will. You got to play on a different level. Do you think he has the comfort level to be able to just plug and play and be a guy that you can have? Maybe if he's a second rounder, he's going to be a day one starter. Is that a possibility for him?
Yeah, he could be a starter day one. But the thing that this guy has, again, he can run. I mean, when Vincent was talking, he made me think a little bit about Nnamdi Asomugha. Now, Nnamdi was a first round pick.
Yeah.
But the size is similar. The Raiders used him predominantly in press coverage. And the fact that he was in press coverage made him the kind of player that he was. And I think this guy, from that standpoint, the team that drafts him will do that with him because the guy is big, he's long, and he can run.
At 189 pounds, does he need a couple of hamburgers and some spaghetti before you go out for your first practice? Or does it are you okay and comfortable with him being really lean? If he's strong enough and he can run fast enough, I'm not going to worry about it. Is that kind of your philosophy? Tell me what you think.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes up and he benches, and I don't know what it was, but if he benches 12, 15, 18, I'm not really concerned about the weight. I mean, he'll naturally get bigger because he's already strong enough. So,
okay.
I'm not the weight is kind of overblown from that standpoint.
Davison Igbinosun. Vincent, final thoughts.
Hey, another great football player out of the Ohio State Buckeyes that's going to have to come into the National Football League and show that he belongs. I like his size, though, the length. As Mr. Clinkscales said, you can't teach that. Back to you, Mr. LeBel.
Well, size and length and obviously skill. You got to be able to play. And, Joey, I know you like his skill and you think maybe a late first, second round, at least third is the floor. A good day. May not be on day one, but he'll be an early day two guy.
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, I'm not sure he's a day one guy unless there's a run on corners. I've seen guys that I like better than this player. But at the end of the day, when you're in the second round and you need a corner, and again, if you're a zone team or a heavy man press team, then this guy will you'll get a guy that you can develop who may be everything you want, and you didn't have to pay a first round. You didn't have to use a first round pick on him.
Yeah. Well, at 6'2", 190 pounds, he's a senior. He's out of Union, New Jersey, and he played at The Ohio State University. Obviously, David Igbinosun has a lot of great things going for him, and we wish him the best as well. We want to thank you for tuning in, everybody. This has been 100 Yards of Football. This is the 2026 NFL Draft Prospect Show featuring Davison Igbinosun, cornerback out of Ohio State. I want to thank Vincent Turner and Joey Clinkscales for being a part of the show today. I'm Harper LeBel saying thank you for tuning in, everybody. If you like the show, please subscribe and tell a friend. We greatly appreciate it. And we also just want to wish everybody a very fantastic and amazing day And thank you for watching the show, and thank you for being a part of 100.